Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Saved by Children TV. My name is Charles, and I'm back for a brand new video. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on so you'll be notified every single time I drop a brand new video on this channel. Also, please make sure you subscribe and hit the thumbs up on my other channels, Crime Time and Outlanding Our Communities. And without further ado, let's get into our stories. Now, we have 9 stories, so 9 out of 17. So, the first story is about a Florida mother who kills both of her kids and then herself in apparent murder suicide after losing custody battle. Sheriff says. So, this was 2 days ago. A Florida woman allegedly shot and killed her 2 children before killing herself in apparent murder suicide after losing custody of her son, according to the Polk County Sheriff's Office. Brandy Hutchins is accused of shooting her 10-year-old son Aiden and 19-year-old daughter before turning the gun on herself inside the family's mobile home in Lake Wales. The incident took place after a judge ordered her to surrender Aiden to his father, who lives in Maine. Hutchins' daughter had a different father and was not involved in the custody battle. Hutchins' ex-husband was in Florida to appear in court with her because she did not appropriately turn over custody of their son. Polk County Sheriff Katie George said she was instructed to give up custody of him by 6 p.m. Friday, but failed to show up for the appointment. The sheriff's office learned that Hutchins violated the court order, and deputies worked through the weekend to locate the boy. Deputies arrived at the home Sunday afternoon and found the bodies of the boy, his half-sister, and his mother. Judge, Judd said the sheriff's office investigation indicates Hutchinson has murdered her 10-year-old child and her 19-year-old child, murdered them, and then subsequently took her own life. Then she shot herself. I can't imagine a more horrific set of circumstances, Judd added. The sheriff said. So let's go to the news video and play the news video.
So I'm seeing that firsthand. I don't even. Yeah. So I just feel bad because of the shit like this. Don't get awful stuff with it. I'm not being funny. I can speak directly. I said everybody. Why do y'all think that on the phone? Bro, listen. But why do y'all always keep it direct? I said, when she was talking to me, she said her French is stuff. Whatever y'all got going on, speak on job, like, I did.
Polk County, the sheriff's office says they are investigating a double murder-suicide after they say a woman killed her 2 children and then shot herself over a custody dispute. Deputies say this happened this afternoon in the Waverly area of Lake Wales. They say a judge ordered this woman, Brandy Hutchins, to turn over her 10-year-old son to her ex-husband, who had come to Florida from Maine to pick up the boy. But Hutchins was nowhere to be found when it was time to drop the child off. The sheriff's office says when they tried to make contact with Hutchins at her home, she killed her son, her 19-year-old daughter, and then shot herself.
My heart breaks for all of the family. We're devastated for this beautiful 10-year-old child, all because mom did not want to turn the child over to the rightful father pursuant to a court order.
The sheriff says Hutchins had no criminal history or indication of violence in the past. Right now, an investigation into the incident remains ongoing.
It's not like I'm being funny trying to argue or nothing. But that's what I'm saying. I don't have to. Why are you supposed to put the? Like it's not even just doing it direct just for you. Like I kept.
New at 11 in Polk County, 2 children killed by their mother after a custody battle, and we're told that mother then killed herself. The Polk County Sheriff's Office says that this woman, Brandy Hutchins, had recently lost custody of her 10-year-old son to her ex-husband. She was supposed to turn over the boy on Friday, but did not. Deputies went to her home to find the boy, and instead they say they found him and his 19-year-old sister dead, and Hutchins dead from self-inflicted gunshot wounds.
I don't know about everybody everybody that I talk to.
It's just 7.
Okay, my couple of thoughts is this. Number one, why wasn't any of the fathers in these children's lives to begin with? That's number one. Even if they knew this woman was saying, clearly she had this in her mind embedded. This was planning. She was planning to take her own life. She was planning to harm the children. And there was no red flags. This was planned the whole time because she knew that that father wanted custody of his son. So the best way women do it normally is to kill the children and they kill themselves. And the sad part is the children got to pay for what the parents should have been doing. The parents, in my opinion, this mother failed her children. My opinion, my opinion, the fathers failed their children because they should have intervened a long time ago if you really cared about your child. So, it's crazy. But this mother had no criminal history. Yeah, normally we don't have criminal history. The first thought comes to mind is taking the life of your child. And I think that there's so many red flags, and a lot of people miss the red flags. Condolences to the children, and it's crazy. This mother, flat up is wrong, and I think that It's one thing to off yourself, but to off your children because of a custody dispute is selfish and uncalled for. You could have like, you know what I'm saying. And you have to involve your children in your inner circle. It's crazy. And you protect your children. You take your children's lives and then take your life, which was really just uncalled for. But okay, let's move on.
I don't know because it's on Sunday, but I don't know. I was just asking everybody. It's Sunday night. If I could move it to a Saturday, but he tried to say. Originally, I thought it was Saturday night. She was like, so my issue was literally at the point of breaking down. So she was like, I don't even think I should get out or anything. But she said, I really just want to take care of you, so I did because she was talking about Shia, she was talking about Tiana. Like I'm like, I don't feel like this. I get it. Like, I feel like, so that's why I said, everybody but literally last minute, I ain't the only one that takes me back so far. Well, on the list, you look. Huh? I guess Tiana going through depression and all this other stuff. I don't got her number, and I was trying to get that from you because I heard that you and Tiana have each other's number or something. Well, this list that I got so far was crazy. Like Shia, like I got on this list. I put yes. Like the house, I don't know how big the house is. I don't know how small. I looked at the picture. I put Tyron, Diane, Anita, Camille, Shia, Letitia, Shia, Diane, Aaliyah, Kwame. Bro, I'm retarded, bro. Tyron, listen to this. Listen to this. She said, hell yeah. She said, do y'all need I said, bring don't be your family, girl. I was like, but I'm kind of relieved, like, because on this list, I got Tyron, Diamond, Evan, Bonita, Camille, Kishara, Letitia, Shia, Diana, Tiana, Leosha, Leah, Monisha, Parmiana, Kipo, New York. You hear me? On this list, I got Tyron, Diamond, Evan, Bonita, Camille, Kishara, Letitia, Shia, Diana, Tiana, Leosha, Leah, Monisha, Parmiana, Kipo, Norma, Yuka, Kaya, Diamond, School, Crystal, Pretty Burger, Tawanda. That house gonna be small as fuck. But I'm just like, I'm putting up, it's to the point where I was making a secret. Like, I don't, as much as y'all say me and Khalil is 7-Eleven, I barely could get a conversation. I'm just doing. That's what I'm saying. The house has only got 2 beds. Oh my God. Because the other one,
Next, it was supposed to be about a teen who was stabbed at a McDonald's, and I believe it was a male that was stabbed, and I believe he died from his injuries. It won't show up on my phone, but my closing thoughts about that situation is that, you know, we just gotta be like more aware of our surroundings. Number two is that who stabs people at McDonald's? I mean, that's not okay. I think there needs to be more, you know, talk with our children because violence is never the answer. Speaking of McDonald's, there been another McDonald's incident that happened. I will be talking about shortly, but it's about a 16-year-old female who was killed over sauce. That story is coming up soon. Stay tuned to that story. Also crazy. So,
Oh, no, she's amazing. You said you more than she's amazing.
wait, hold on. 'Cause I'm still texting. You know, you don't text somebody back and forth.
Make it this.
I said, I appreciate it if I had. If you wanna bring it like this, you wanna bring it this. What? I appreciate it, Diane, if you wanna bring a dish. If you wanna bring a dish. Wait, what should I say? 'Cause I don't got no food. I just take out some minutes and make mac and cheese.
She can make it.
She said you can bring something.
Like that.
She texted again. Appreciate it, Diane.
She's not playing about my Egypt, right?
Wait, hold on.
The only thing I could try to possibly get is a cup in the wrong. In the paper. I get the music mad. Other than that, I can't get up to them. I'll wait.
Oh, this is embarrassing.
Why is it embarrassing?
our next story is out of Glen Burnie, Maryland.
I told the lady I'm trying to get.
Annie Arundel County Public Schools sue social media companies. The Annie Arundel County Public School System is suing four of the biggest social media companies alleged they have rewired how youth think, feel, and behave. The district is the eighth Maryland school system going after social media companies with a lawsuit that alleges Meta, Google, Snapchat, YouTube, and TikTok are feeling an unprecedented mental health crisis among young people. The lawsuit claims alleged companies manage the preference of young users and really expose them to risks. As a result of the addictive nature of these algorithms and platforms, children are spending too much time on their cell phones, said Phil Federico, an attorney for the school system. Certainly, the content is problematic as well, but it's really those platforms and really these other algorithms that are getting them to stay on the phones, really interrupting their time at school. Lawsuit cites data from a variety of sources indicating that a third of 13 to 17-year-olds report using social media apps almost consistently and will struggle to cut back. The lawsuit data shows suicide rates are up 57%, emergency room visits and anxiety are up 117%, and there are a 40% increase in high school students reporting persistent sadness and hopelessness. We want to get the companies to respect children and treat them the way they should be treated and not as a profit center. So we want to get them to change their algorithms, change their platforms, so that we don't have a problem in the future. Friend Dorico said. Some said parents should do a better job policing social media use. Policing, sorry. I think the parents should be I think parents should be the people that are holding their children accountable, not a society, not a government, none of them, said Pam Smith, a parent. Just pay attention to what your children are doing. Just know their whereabouts and just keep contacting with them, said Tanya White, an Annie Arundel County resident. I don't know if there's anything can be done. I mean, now that social media is part of our present today, I don't know if there is any real way of stopping or changing that, said Clemens Joseph, an Annie Arundel County resident. WBAL TV 11 News reached out to all the social media companies named in the lawsuit, Meta, which runs Facebook and Instagram, sent a statement to 11 News saying, in part, reports from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and other points to growing academic pressure, concerns of safety in schools, the lingering impact of pandemic and limited access to mental health care as key factors. We want to work with schools and academic experts to better understand that these issues and how social media can provide teens with support when they need. A Snapchat representative sent a statement to 11 News after this report aired, saying Snapchat was designated differently from other social media platforms because nothing is more important to use than the well-being of our community. Our app opens directly to a camera rather than a feed of content that encourages passive scrolling and is primarily used to help real friends communicate. We are an app that encourages platforms of popularity, and we vet all content before it can reach a large audience, which helps protect against the promotion and discovery of potentially harmful material. While we will always have more work to do, we feel good about the role Snapchat plays in helping friends feel connected, informed, happy, and prepared as they face the many challenges of adolescence. The lawsuit, which was filed in federal court, also seeks an opportunity for the school district to recoup lost finances from diverting money and resources to address student mental health issues. I agree. I don't think I mean, yes, it should be up to parents to monitor their children on apps. But I also think it's the apps, the owners of apps, to stop putting out these challenges, dangerous challenges for these children. Stop putting out content that is not for children for children to get access to. So I think we should start blaming everybody as a whole. Let's everybody take accountability. And so I think that children are used to being adapted to this type of stuff flowing on their phones. And when these apps have parent controls, children can access any and everything that is showing on their phone. So, yes, I think it's up to many sites to take in control to release safety tips and tools for our children and to put parent controls on these apps because our children are getting way too young, getting on these apps, exploring dangerous content, and then doing these dangerous contents. And majority of these contents are causing our children to harm themselves, kill themselves, all of that. So I think there's a lot to blame here. It's a lot to blame here, but another story I want to talk about that happened, I believe, 2 days ago. I'm on CNN app, and this is about the UNC Chapel Hall shooting the other day that killed a professor. It was on the news. I was watching a live video when I unfolded the other day, like so many. So, a UNC graduate student is charged with murder and fatal shooting of associate professor. I'm on CNN. The suspect in a fatal shooting with a faculty member at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill Monday is a graduate student at the school. UNC police said in a news release Tuesday. Talib Key or Q or Kui, the graduate student, was charged with first-degree murder and having a gun on educational property in court Tuesday. He did not enter a plea and was ordered held without bond. The victim was identified as Zhi Yan, an associate professor in the Department of Applied Physical Sciences, who had worked for UNC since 2019. The two knew each other, UNC Police Chief Brian James said Tuesday. Kwai was a grad student in the same department and Yan was his faculty advisor. According to Kwai's UNC biographical page, which has been deleted but is available on the Internet Archives Wayback Machine, Kwai entered the school in 2022 and listed his previous education as Louisiana State University and Wine University, the page said. Kwai entered the courtroom Tuesday wearing an orange jail outfit with his hands cuffed in front of him. He used his interpreter and was assigned a public defender for his first appearance. He's a citizen of China and is in the United States on a visa, District Attorney Jeff Nillman said. Nillman said the gun possession charge was related to a 9mm handgun. The firearm used in the shooting still has not been recovered, James said. If convicted, Kwai faces a minimum of life in prison without parole for the murder charge and up to 2 years for the weapons charge. The maximum sentence for first-degree murder in North Carolina is the death penalty, but Nyman has said his office policy is not seeking the death penalty. I don't know why not. UNC Chancellor Kevin Guaskauskas expressed his condolences to Yan's family and said that the campus would ring the bell tower in his honor on Wednesday. He was a beloved colleague, mentor, and a friend to so many on our campus, and a father to 2 young children, he said. The early afternoon shooting at the school's Quidel Laboratories, a chemistry studies building, sent the university into lockdown for hours. The suspect was located on foot about a mile away and detained about 90 minutes afterward. James said his car was found on campus, he said. I want to ensure that we gather every piece of evidence to determine exactly what happened here today and why it happened. James said it was a news conference Monday evening. It is too early in this investigation to know a motive for the shooting. Classes and campus activities were canceled Monday and Tuesday and will continue to be closed Wednesday. Officials said this is the second week of fall semester classes at the flagship university of the 17-member UNC system. This loss is devastating, and the shooting damaged the trust and safety that we so often take for granted in our campus community. We'll work to rebuild that sense of trust and safety within our community, Guaskauskas said on Monday. After 911 calls about the shooting came in shortly after 1 p.m., university police issued an alert advising students to go inside immediately, close windows and doors, and to wait until further notice. According to an email, a witness on campus told CNN they were locked down in the building and saw armed officers searching campus.
No, let her, that's a
Midget, rude ass nigga. She wanted her to fucking skip it down on us. Like, what you supposed to do that? So let her know.
No. It's called surprise.
Nigga, I'm at home.
What you call me, baby?
I'm saying.
Video from CNN affiliate WRAL showed a large number of police vehicles at the campus with the emergency lights flashing. At times, people walked out of nearby buildings in a single file line with their arms in the air. Police detained one person before the suspect's arrest, but they determined very quickly it was not the gunman, Jam said. The suspect was taken into custody shortly after 2:30 p.m. Gasquet said the university continued to lock down for a couple hours after the suspect was detained because authorities were working to confirm they had the right person and tried to find the firearm that was used, James told reporters. The university has a student body of about 32,000, along with more than 4,000 faculty and 9,000 staff members. The FBI is assisting in evidence gathering, officials said. 49 school shootings have happened in the U.S. this year, including the UNC shooting. 34 have been reported in 34 have been reported on K through 12 campuses and 15 on university and college campuses, according to a CNN tally. The shooter shot his professor, and his professor is the same ethnicity as the shooter. And if you shoot your own down like that, imagine
Well, I think Diamond gonna end up pulling through.
You talk to Diamond?
Yeah, I thought
you gotta imagine if this took place in China, right? Automatically, he would have got the death penalty because in different parts of the world, they don't like committing crimes against their own. They don't like the people committing crimes against their own, against different ethnicity, against. So, I think that this is horrible in so many ways. Children jumping out of windows. You have children crying, walking with their family. You had, a whole lot going on. And because of one selfish individual who chose to ruin school for something. First people school and you on campus shooting and killing people. Like, I don't understand the purpose. I think there's more to the story. I think he did it because
I don't know. Because the Diamond pulled through.
I don't know why he did it,
Now,
but
all that from the Airbnb at, there's no other house. And this dude was so nice. He was like, "Oh, that's so awesome. You're doing that for this."
for others affected, we hope that you are, getting the help that you need, to take time and regroup. This is a time to our mental stability is important. And this is a tragedy. And they're gonna need counseling. They're gonna need grieving counseling. It was the professor. That wasn't just his professor. A lot of people went to that man for work. So a lot of people are dying. It's a tragedy. And so, they're gonna need grieving counseling, the staff, students, they're gonna need a lot of support because of this. I mean, doing it for what? And so, in my opinion, I understand they're not seeking a death penalty. Because had it been a black shooter, a black male shooter, they would have been quick to issue and put this case on death penalty. It would have been a death penalty case. So it should have been a death penalty case, in my opinion. That's how brutal it was. This was premeditated. But if they give him life in prison without parole, that worked too. He needs a harsh punishment. This was uncalled for. It was unwanted, unnecessary, unprejudiced, and he should pay. So keep everyone affected in God's prayers. We're gonna move on to our next story. Now, this is the story I've been waiting for. Let me look it up, and then we're going to talk about it.
Listen, and you wanna and then why when I said that y'all saying I'm kissing that girl ass? Why when I say that y'all say, oh he's taking up for that girl? Why when I say that? Come on now, it's wrong for one person to be real. I can be real. And then they got my siblings.
Okay. They gotta go to practice. You better go to the playground if I'm walking. I told him, let's go.
I could honestly vouch for my research.
Our next story is out of DC. Washington, DC is going to take an L. We have a 16-year-old girl. Okay, remember that. 16-year-old girl is killed at McDonald's by another 16-year-old girl over sweet and sour sauce. I mean, are you kidding me? A 16-year-old girl has been charged with second-degree murder. Pause, pause, and pause. Where the first-degree murder charge at? I'm gonna tell you why.
And I see both of y'all point of view, but I just want and it had to drain me here, but it started to drain me.
I think it should have been first-degree murder because this was obviously premeditated. A 16-year-old girl has been charged with second-degree murder in the stabbing death of another 16-year-old female outside of McDonald's in Washington, D.C., and what authorities said was a dispute over sweet and sour sauce. In a press release, Metro Police said that authorities early Sunday morning responded to a report of a juvenile at a hospital who was being treated for stab wounds. The teen, later identified as Naima Lagoon of Waldorf, Maryland, succumbed to her injuries, police said. Multiple outlets, including the Washington Post, NBC Washington, and WTOP, reported on the incident, according to police. The fatal stabbing occurred outside of McDonald's and the 1900 block of 14th Street, Northwest Lagoon, was taken to the hospital in a private-owned vehicle. Metro Police also announced the arrest of 16-year-old female Elsa Waldorf. She was charged with second-degree murder while armed. Authorities said that a knife was found in the possession of the suspect when she was arrested. At a D.C. Superior Court hearing Monday, Detective Brandon Jasper testified that the fatal stabbing of Lagoon originated from a dispute over sweet and sour sauce among three girls outside of a restaurant. Per the Washington Post, Jasper added in his testimony that Lagoon and another girl being assaulting the 16-year-old girl, who, based on surveillance footage, didn't appear to fight back at first. As Lagoon and the other girl were about to get into a vehicle, Jasper claimed the 16-year-old girl approached Lagoon with a 7.5-inch pocket knife, stabbing her in the abdomen and chest. The Washington Post reported. That's why it says premeditated. You said something in your abdomen and then in the chest, that's premeditated. Prosecutors said that the 16-year-old suspect was located a block away, NBC Washington reported. Per WTOP, as discussed at the court hearing, the Lagoon and the suspect were part of a group who drove to a party at 15th Street Northwest, NBC, from Oxon Hill, Maryland. Following the party, the teens went to the McDonald's, according to authorities. An attorney representing the suspect said that their client acted in self-defense, yeah, of course, because she's a female, adding that the suspect had no prior criminal history per WTOP's report. D.C. Superior Court Judge Sherry Betty Arthur called the juvenile suspect to be held until a new hearing on Friday. The Washington Post reported the judge said at the end of the day, someone is dead over a dispute over sauce. Joy Lagoon, the mother of Naima Lagoon, called the incident senseless, telling WTOP, "I can understand how many type of fight, whether it's over sweet and sour sauce or any other topic, could result in a murder." She added, "Naima was beautiful, smart, she was funny, unique, she loves life." Lagoon was a student at Thomas Stone High School in Waldorf. In a statement sent to the school community, per Fox 5 principal Sheriff Pearl wrote in part, "My thoughts and prayers go out to her, family, friends, loved ones, and all who knew her. This is not the news a principal ever wants to share, let alone the day before we start a new school year. I ask that you please keep Naoma's family, friends, loved ones, and her school community in your thoughts and prayers."
Mom, tell him we going to the car.
People reached out to the office of the Attorney General for the District of Columbia Tuesday for the additional comment on the case. So I have a news video for that. But I just put up another article, another story just popped up. I'm going to talk about a bonus story. So I need a remote so I could put on that this.
Have anyone seen my key?
Argument among a carload of teens over sweet and sour sauce from McDonald's is what led to the stabbing death of a 16-year-old girl early Sunday in Northwest D.C. That's according to testimony in juvenile court today. Another 16-year-old girl is accused of murder. The two teens were friends from Waldorf, Maryland, according to testimony in a hearing that just ended moments ago. Our Scott Broom is live at Superior Court in D.C. to tell us more about this case. Scott.
Yeah, in fact, Lorenzo, the hearing's still going on. I just stepped out to give you this briefing. This was 5 friends, all girls, riding in a car after a night out in D.C., according to the testimony I just heard in this juvenile hearing. They'd gone to the McDonald's at 14th and U at about 2 in the morning and were back in the car when an argument between teenage friends from Waldorf broke out over, as you reported, sweet and sour sauce, according to testimony. The fight that followed spilled out of the car in front of the McDonald's. That is when 16-year-old Naima Ligon of Waldorf was stabbed twice by another 16-year-old girl from Waldorf. The two were friends, according to the MPD detective who just testified. He testified the night started with a gathering at the Birchwood City Rec Center in Oxon Hill. That's when 5 girls got in a car, went to a party on 15th Street Northwest here in D.C. The fight again at 14th and U in front of the McDonald's happened after the party at 2 a.m. Ligon, the victim, was taken by the other girls to nearby Howard University Hospital where she died. The suspect was stopped by police walking alone a block away from the stabbing scene. This happened again 2 a.m. yesterday morning, and she had a black folding knife in her possession, the detective said. Ligon's heartbroken family released photos of her with her mother. A neighbor spoke to us today about the murdered teen.
She was a beautiful young girl. It was my son's first friend. We just moved here. Beautiful, very intelligent young girl. My son's only friend here. So he's impacted by this, and I would imagine all the rest of the kids in the neighborhood are as well.
This terrible tragedy happened on the eve of the first day of school at Thomas Johnson High School in Waldorf. The principal there called Ligon's death a tragedy that has left the school heartbroken. Just a few moments ago, Ligon's mother released a statement through a friend. In part, she said, "I pray for our family and her friends, and also for the family of the young lady who took her life." The juvenile hearing still underway. The judge has instructed us that the name of the juvenile who's charged in this case cannot be said publicly. The judge right now making a decision on whether or not she's released to her parents or she stays in custody. Reporting live outside D.C. Superior Court, Scott Broom, WUSA 9.
Yeah, again, just to reiterate here, we're just learning from court. This all began over sweet and sour sauce. Every layer of this story is just so sad. Scott, thank you.
All right, my closing thoughts. One, they said that when they went to McDonald's, they were leaving from a party. Keyword, it's a party. These teens are not monitored. Why are teens walking around and going to parties unsupervised?
Charles, give me the key to the bike. What you saying shush for? What? And I did not know you was recording. Oh. Why would you lock it up in the backyard? I was trying to ride my bike, and you locked it up in the backyard.
You locked your bike up. What? He want his bike.
I know, give my key. Give my key.
This room stink. What the hell is that supposed to be on in like that? TV or something?
Nope, YouTube.
You doing a YouTube broadcast?
Yeah, I'm doing
In a dirty ass room, boy. Are you serious? You don't need to be doing this shit. You need to be cleaning this room up. We're gonna do that. Don't do.
Room is clean.
This room is not clean. Do you see all this nasty shit around here? That's embarrassing. That's and it stinks in here. That's fucking embarrassing. You don't give a shit. Hurry up, man. I gotta clean up my living room.
Keep this around your neck.
And y'all might want to take it back down too, so don't get comfortable.
fast so I can help you drink that goddamn. That you two can wait. You got the stinking ass room. Y'all some perverted ass boys. You like the folklore? Yeah, it is. Fucking room up, disgusting. You want shit.
again, these children should have been monitored, and they wasn't. And when children are monitored, bad things happen. And so, in my opinion, these children should have been at this party. Freshman year underage, 1 and 2. Until
Your name is on the Sunday. Today is Sunday. Today is Sunday.
until these children. I'm do part 2 to this. Have a great day.